So let's cover the topic of trans sports. So I've never covered the topic of trans sports, but it is an issue. Recently, Idaho has banned male to female trans people from well uh through in any competition, or I think or if they do that, they have to go with their original gender. And on the federal level, um is the there is the Protection of Women and Girls Sports Act, which is interesting. The federal law has only just been introduced and has not been passed yet. So I'll be covering a couple trans athletes, including female to male trans athletes. But let's start it with Janae McCrock or something. I think that's her name. So she then put out something. Um, Here, I'll play it for you. Okay, so
had was being like the most intense, the craziest. So I was like the alpha of the alphas. And so I was like the last person in the world that anyone suspected. And that's what made it, I think, even more shocking and made it more difficult for me to come out. A lot more people that supported me than I expected, especially some of the big name lifters and people that were very well respected in the sport. And that was really nice to see. But the fan base, there were a lot of people that were very upset about it.
So as you can see, that's all I could find. So a quick thing before this. I don't really care about any of these people. I don't hate them. I don't like them. But I'm just gonna go make a video topic about this, and I found Janae. I don't know why. She's also an amazing athlete. I mean, seriously, if you just look her up, she looks like, well, if a steroid had a Russian steroid, and then got injected into her. But she's actually never used steroids, which is amazing. But Janae looks more biologically male than female, and there's a massive difference. So Janae was well into her adulthood, and she transitioned and now can compete against females. One example of where this went wrong is where a female boxer, I think it was, a transgender male to female boxer cracked the skull open of another biological female. So, yeah. And people who say there isn't a difference, that right there is obvious evidence of it. But seriously, you can just Google transgender person wins the race, and well, there's multiple videos of people saying we already know who's going to win. It's unfair. And these are actual female athletes. So, yeah, but also, if you think a female person who has very, very different body composition to a female can compete on level playing field, you are ignorant. But to prove my point even further, she went and competed against men. Now I don't know the who was the victor of any of that, but it just proves her point that she can compete against male athletes. And I can't really see anybody saying, well, um, if they should be able to compete, but they don't say, well, at what age? Because if you're a 20-year-old man and you transition, well, you're still a 20-year-old man who looks like a 20-year-old man with female body parts. And yeah, it seems unfair. But if you're a, say, 9-year-old and you start taking puberty blockers and estrogen and transition fully, which I don't like kids transitioning because, well, forever altering surgery shouldn't be given to kids, but whatever. Um, they, well then, yeah, they should be able to compete in, their sport. But if you don't, I seriously am confused because, well, now you'll have all this muscle and everything, and, well, you'll just look like a female. Now, if someone who's, say, 12, 11, 13, yeah, sure, and they've already transitioned, why not? They can go on the girls' team. 20-year-old, yeah, you're stuck with the boys. Let's just go, spit out some facts. Male athletes average 4 to 12% body mass, meaning, well, they're heavier. Yes, but does that? No, it could also mean they have more muscle. Spoiler alert, they do. Oh, wait, what about females averaging 12 to 23? Or basically double. Males have longer limbs, more bone density, and thicker bones. And that one's important because hormones don't change your bone structure. You might be saying, okay, what? Oh, shut up. Here's more. Here's just more.
It's a problem.
I competed against a biological male, and they beat me.
Madison lost to Jude Eastwood, the first transgender student athlete to compete in cross country in Division I at the University of Montana. Madison and her teammate Mary Marshall believe losing to Eastwood was unfair since Eastwood was born a male.
When you look at a lot of the facts and how a male body develops through puberty and like all the advantages that they have biologically upon females, that it really bugged me.
Okay. So, you're probably like, okay, well, so what? So a transgender student beat a female. Yeah. Yeah, that's not it. Female athletes are calling it unfair. If they basically take this, imagine a female went down against toddlers. I'm not calling women toddlers. This is a bad metaphor. The female would win. Now swap the whatever. And here's another thing that they talk about. Why isn't there trans leagues? I mean, if you don't, if it's unfair for one person to well compete against someone against a different gender, unless they're female to male, or um, or it's just unfair. Why aren't there trans leagues? Oh, because there's not enough people? Well, then what do we do? Oh, we let them into their original. Nope. It's a tricky issue with two, three real, solutions. One, allow everybody to go in the sport that they identify with, or the gender that they identify with. Two, keep them with their biological thing. And three, create transgender leagues. So this is obviously a problem because, well, there's legislation and schools are acting in problems. Like, say an example, I don't know, let's say two trans athletes were in a school and, well, let's say there was controversy because the two students didn't begin hormone replacement therapy. And, well, they're excelling impossibly well. Almost like there's some sort of difference. Maybe a school wouldn't, but certainly a community. I mean, trans leagues seem much more fair, right? I mean, because, well, you obviously can't, from those examples I gave, you obviously can't have, males and females comparing. That's the entire reason why we separate them, because it's dangerous. Okay, let's get into a different section of this video. Female to male. Here's a professional transgender boxer.
Being the first licensed professional male boxer who happens to be trans, it's something I'm proud of, but it was never something that I was chasing. I never wanted to be the first. I just wanted to box.
So, there you go. So, the guy has a beard, so I don't think anybody would argue he belongs on the women's team because he's taking testosterone. I think he obviously meets the standards to be on the men's team. But you're like, well, I thought you said trans women shouldn't be on their shut up. As long as he makes the requirements, since he's starting as female, he should be able. Well, how does that make sense? Well, because he's taking testosterone, and I can tell you from experience. Okay, I can't. I can tell you from photos. Testosterone has a much greater effect than estrogen on trans people. So unlike trans men, it would probably be an uphill battle. Well, yes, that means it's going to be harder. It means as long as he meets the standards, he should get on the team. Whereas trans women, that's a different story. And, well, probably trans men would also be at a biological disadvantage. Now let's get into the woke people. My favorite type of them just plugging their ears when they hear evidence of, like, that trans girl who broke another girl's skull. They'll just plug their ears when they hear that, and when they explain it's not about hating trans people, it's just about trying to make things fair, they'll still scream you're transphobic. Yes, and no matter how many facts, statistics, anything like that, examples you'll throw at them, they'll just think, this is a tolerant thing. Anybody who disagree with me, racist. Now, when you disagree with them on, say, like, climate change, they'll say, well, listen to the scientists. Well, listen to the biologists. There's a difference between men and women. But you could also say, well, no, science does matter. Okay, well, science only matters when it's in your favor? Yeah, exactly. Now you're starting to get it. Facts only matter when they're in our favor. When facts, don't really matter, we can just say, well, you're being politically incorrect. So, that's all I really have to say. End of video. Bye.